Hey, good morning, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Proverbs chapter 14. Listen, just have two little verses, and I just want to make some comments on them. So obviously, the book of Proverbs is a comparison between wisdom, following God, following God's ways, living in submission to God, versus the unwise or folly or whatever different words Solomon uses in Proverbs. To follow our own way, to follow our own heart, to follow our own philosophy or whatever. There are two distinct ways, and one is a way that leads to life and protects our lives, and one is a way that ultimately leads to death. And so my question to you today is, what are you following? What is your guide for decision making? What is your guide for what you base your life upon? Verse 12 says this in Proverbs chapter 14. It says, "There's a way that seems right to a man, but its end is the way of death." There is a way that seems right, but in its end is the way of death. You see, I think what we like to do oftentimes is we like to just follow our hearts. That's dangerous. And I'll tell you why it's dangerous. It's dangerous if our heart is not in tune with the Lord. Because if our heart is not in tune with or walking in fellowship with the Lord, then it's in tune with and walking in my own desires. And it will seek my own way, and it will seek to fulfill myself. Jeremiah 17 verse 9 says this. Listen to this. It says, "The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it?" He says the heart is deceitful above all things and is desperately wicked. When my heart is out of tune and out of fellowship with God, when my heart is not surrendered and submitted to the ways of God, to the wisdom of God, to the commandments of God, and just to the person of God himself, then the me heart takes over, the Keith heart takes over. And that Keith heart wants to go down different roads and wants to go down different paths. There is a way that seems right to a man, but its end is the way of death. Verse 14, two verses later, it says, "The backslider in heart will be filled with his own ways, but a good man will be satisfied from above." Yeah, you see, when I'm a backslider, when I'm unfaithful, when I'm following my own self, I'm going to be filled with my own ways. I'm going to be filled with pursuing my own desires. I'm going to be fulfilled with pursuing my own thoughts, my own wants, my own priorities. And those are ways that might seem right, but their end is death. Verse 12, he says, "But a good man is going to be satisfied from above." I've got to learn to be satisfied with the things from God. I've got to learn to be satisfied with the blessings of God. And the truth is, it's not even something I've got to learn. If I will walk with God, in fellowship with God, surrender to him and surrender to his word and to his principles and to his commands, his blessings will overflow and they will outweigh anything that I could ever want or desire. And it would just be natural to want to follow him. So what are you following? You following your gut? You following your heart? Or are you following the ways of the Lord? Proverbs chapter 14, verses 12 and 14. Get out there in faith today. God bless you. Love you. Bye.